Going on, everybody? Hope all of you are doing well. I hope everyone had a great day, and I hope everyone has had a great weekend. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about what my life has been like with having Tourette syndrome. I've had Tourette's since 1996. I was first diagnosed in 96, and to this day, I continue to struggle with it. So Tourette syndrome is a basically, in better terms, it's a neurological disorder. Basically, your body tends to have these random twitching movements, as they call tics, which is spelled TIC. Basically, there are these episodes ranging from vocal tics to physical tics. Having uncontrollable, it's uncontrollable twitching, basically, and you can tell you're triggered by it here and there. Now, I will say there are things that can make your Tourette's a lot worse. If you consume too much caffeine or too much sugar, I've learned that it can trigger it really bad. Stress can trigger it, as well as anxiety. Um, some tics come and go, and others change throughout your life as you get older. As I've gotten older, it really hasn't gotten as bad compared to when I was younger. And considering I have cut back a lot, I quit drinking soda 5 months ago, so that has helped tremendously. But Tourette syndrome definitely has its struggles. It's a syndrome that doesn't really get a lot of exposure. To this day, there's people who have never heard of it or don't know exactly what it is, which is kind of interesting to say the least, considering there's all these other things that go on with people. Its struggles are difficult. You can do bodily harm, which I have done. I've hurt my wrist, given myself whiplash, I hurt jaw. I mean, there's just so much, and it's not something we want to do to ourselves. It's just something that we have no control over. Now, a lot of individuals who get diagnosed with Tourette's tend to be diagnosed with other things. A great example for me would be obsessive compulsive disorder, and of course, a learning disability. Um, I've had people stare. I have struggled, trying to concentrate because of it. I mean, there are so many things um, that I've dealt with. Now, for those of you who may have a friend or a relative, the best way to understand it a little bit better is just talk to them. Do your research. This could give you a better understanding on how it works and what we go through, and you may be able to help somebody if you ever come across them in public. I actually have a few times have encountered others with Tourette's. It's kind of like in a positive note, it's like a Spider-Man, uh, you know, ability. It's like your spider sense. You can tell when somebody else has Tourette's. I have a great example. I was at a restaurant with a couple friends, and the couple that was behind the booth that me and my friends were eating at, their child had Tourette's, and I could tell, how both the parents were feeling, and I could tell how that kid was feeling because I've been there. It's not easy. A lot of adults are not going to understand it. A lot of adults are going to think that you're doing it on purpose and things like that. Now, I did see a video probably a few weeks back of a young woman who apparently I think was like on YouTube or TikTok, something like that, and she was basically faking that she has Tourette's. Not cool. I mean, Tourette's is not something to make fun of. It's not something to pretend that you have. This is a serious condition. I mean, there are individuals who can have a serious case that makes them end up having surgery on a body part because they injured it because of the Tourette's. So it's not something I think people should be making fun of or faking. It's just not right. I'm not someone who would get offended easily. I would just try to put my 2 cents into situations like this. But it's always something I've been wanting to talk about, but just never really, I guess, had the courage to do so. I've been bullied because of it. I mean, basically anybody who has had Tourette's knows, all the things that we've had to go through. But it is a struggle. Like when I do my videos, I have a hard time struggling sometimes, and I try to concentrate. Now, they do state that concentrating on certain things or finding a hobby will help. That's helped me out a lot. I'm also trying to cut back more into my diet, as well as trying to work on my stress and anxiety. I think a lot of my stress, a lot of my tick episodes come from the stress that I've been dealing with for the past month or two. Excuse me. I hate when I have to burp on video, but what can you do? So yeah, it definitely sucks having it. Maybe over the years, as I get more comfortable in front of the camera, I will, maybe show you guys some of the, ticks that I have. It'll have happen randomly, so you guys won't be aware, unless you watch the video and you start noticing something, out of the ordinary. But like I said, I just want to do a video. I wish I could say more. Just do your research, talk to any relative or friend that you have that may have it and get a better understanding. It definitely is something I feel like people should be more aware of, considering it's not one that, a lot of people are aware of. I could tell you some of the bad things I've had throughout, my experience of, dealing with it. But I don't want to get into that. I want to, have a positive outlook and be positive on this video. But I just kind of wanted to share you guys with the fact that I have Tourette syndrome, and I've been dealing with it for, a decade. We're getting close to a decade. No, not a decade. Man, I am. When the heat hits over 100, it starts to make you not think straight. No, I've had it for over 20 years. We're getting close to probably 30 now. Wait, let's see. We're gonna hit 2024. So yeah, in 2 more years. I mean, 2.5, since we're getting close to 2024. So yeah, I've literally have had it for about 28 years or so, give or take. So yeah, it's definitely crazy to look back on, that I've had it that long. Now I will give you guys a little backstory. So in 1995, on my way to I'm actually on my way home from doing grocery shopping with my brother and my parents. We got into a car accident. We hit somebody who apparently was at a bar. He was having a hard time, I guess, getting out of his vehicle. I don't know exactly the situation that happened. It's very limited in the information, because I mean, I was young, so there's probably stuff I didn't know about, nobody told me about. But I didn't have a seatbelt on, so I was injured on impact. I was actually the only one injured on impact. Then my parents started noticing things about me that were off, and then I went to see a doctor. And I'll be honest, I feel for my mother. She went through so many doctors. Doctors saying that my mom is crazy, that I don't have anything wrong with me, and things like that. So yeah, but eventually I was diagnosed in '96. Now, after getting a lot of tests done to see how my brain waves work, because there are a few, I think at least one or two doctors I've been to had stated that they wanted to see what my brain activity was like when I was sleeping. Was my brain still trying to have some type of tick episode while I was asleep? And I believe it showed results that I actually was. Now, I used to have seizures when I was younger, and later on, one of the doctors that I had gone to see had basically stated that I was actually born with the Tourette's. That when I was having seizures, that was my Tourette's finding its way out, but until I got injured, it eventually found its way to get out. Um, but over the years, as you get older and your body changes, sometimes your ticks will, kind of not get as bad. Um, I still have my struggles, I mean, that's expected. But compared to when I was younger, it was very frustrating. And I think around before I finished high school, it was getting really bad. So I knew I needed to make some changes. But as I've stated, as I've gotten older and as I've changed things in my diet, it hasn't gotten too bad compared to when I was a kid. So that's always been great. It kind of relieves a little bit of the stress and the strain on my body. But it's always going to be there, no matter what. Um, there's two different kinds. There's the verbal. From what I've heard, the verbal is actually the rare type of Tourette's, and that the twitching type is the more common Tourette's. So yeah, there are two different kinds, which is really, the more you think about it, it's pretty interesting. I thought just, Tourette's was just kind of a one thing and just kind of had a variety of its own. But no, it's actually, there's two different types. Now, I used to work with somebody who had Tourette's as well, and I have a cousin who has it as well. So yeah, definitely a syndrome that I wouldn't really wish anybody to deal with, because it can be very frustrating having it. I can't stress that enough. But with that being said, I just kind of wanted to make this video just sharing you guys, a little history on it, with me and what I've dealt, with over the years, and a little backstory on how I was diagnosed and things like that. So, yeah, just something I kind of was, contemplating on doing, and I'm glad I did. Kind of helps, get something a little bit off my chest. So that'll be it for this video. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this little video, giving you guys a little history about me. And give this video a thumbs up and comment down below. I mean, do you guys have any relatives or families that, family member that has it? And if there's any, if you want me to give you guys any advice on it or tips that could help you have a better understanding, just let me know. Just comment down below, and I'm more than welcome to do that. So with that being said, guys, I am Film Talk with Mikey, and until next time, we'll talk films. Peace.